All right, all right. It is 1:30, and you know what that means. It is time for Heart Talk. This is the talk portion of our show. This is when we come to renew our minds and restore our hearts. I am your heart coach, Adelai Brown, right here on your community station with international inspiration, kinetichifi.com. Today, we've been talking about overcoming the past. Our word for the day is headlong. The word for the day was headlong, and it means without deliberation, recklessly, without pause or delay. I feel like many of us have been living our lives very headlong because we are afraid of dealing with the past. So, because there's a fear of dealing with the issues that have caused you to be so reckless, you stay in that state of being headlong and continue to live recklessly, continue to live life without thinking about what you're doing prior to doing it. I've heard women say things to me like, "Well, I just have sex with them because they ask. I never I never thought to say no. I figured if they ask, I should give myself to them." That's a headlong decision without deliberation. And there's no judgment involved. But when you think about your past, most of those women had been taken advantage of or violated in their past. So now they feel like they don't have any ownership or title over themselves. They just have to give them themselves to others. And many of us feel that way. And it's not just about sex. Sometimes it can be with helping people out and being there for them. You make headlong decisions. You're very reckless. You want to be there for people so much that you hurt yourself in the process. All of these things are signs that there are things in your life that you need to let go of. There are things in your life that are holding you back. There's some guilt. There's some shame. There's some confrontation that is not being had that needs to be done. You have to let it go. You have to overcome. I want to go back to our daily inspirational quote of the day. Day 210 from Anchored. And you can check out Anchored and the new book. This segment is brought to you by the new book, Help Save Me from My Broken Heart. You can check it out at theheartconnections.com. It reads, "We should critique ourselves before judging others. If you don't like your current circumstance, change it. You can't control anyone but yourself. Be blessed." I want to finish off the day with that as we think about letting it go, because many times people tell me, "Well, Adelaide, I can't let it go because he never apologized. I need closure. They never told me sorry. They never told me what they did was wrong." But this is the thing. You know it's wrong. You know it was wrong. You know what they did to you was wrong. You know how they treated you was wrong. All of that was wrong. So now what are you going to do about it? You've confronted the pain. You've acknowledged that that pain has brought about shame and guilt that is weighing you down from living your life to the fullest potential. And for those of you that are just tuning in, if you missed the previous Heart Talks, you can catch them on YouTube on our YouTube page, The Heart Connections. I encourage you to go there and subscribe and like and comment to the videos. Also, you can you can check me out live right now. You can go to bit.ly/heart connections and you can check me out live there. So you can check out the previous segments. But we've confronted the pain. We realize that there's some things in the past we need to go. We've confronted the pain. We brought it face to face. We're not running from it. We understand that we have to acknowledge what's going on. We're gonna get in the way of the pain. We're not gonna let pain just run its course. That's what confrontation is saying. I'm putting my foot down. I want more than this. I'm expecting more for me. Okay, when we start to let go of things, so once we start to confront them, we can see the shame and the guilt, and now we're at a space of what do we do with that? We now realize that I'm not bad. I may have been in some bad situations and I may have done some bad things, but I myself am not bad. At the core, I am not bad. I address that in the book because that's something I struggle with a lot. I really thought something was fundamentally wrong with me, and that's why my life was going the way it was going. But really, what was wrong with me was the way I was thinking. My heart was not right. My emotions were not lined up or aligned the way they needed to be. My feelings and the way that I viewed life was very distorted because I had such a broken heart. And that brokenness brought about a level of distortion. It brought about a level of confusion, a lack of clarity. And that's why we once we go through these processes, that book takes you through the process of a divine heart transplant. When we go through these steps, and you can ask my clients, they're difficult, but when you look back, you're like, man, this helped me out so much. And when we think about letting it go, we have to understand that we have to let go of things the way we knew them to make room for a new way of understanding, a more empowered way of being. Many times we can't move on because we're so stuck in the past. And it brings to mind a particular passage that I want to read to you guys in Isaiah chapter 43. Isaiah chapter 43 is a passage that really is a blessing to me. Every time I've ever read it, it's been such a blessing because it starts off uplifting you in a down place. So when you talk about overcoming the past, I'm going to read the first two verses and then I'm going to read two more verses later on. So just bear with me. Here we go. Isaiah 43, verses 1 and 2 says, "But now this is what the Lord says: He who created you, Jacob, he who formed you, Israel, do not fear, for I have redeemed you. I have summoned you by name. You are mine. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. When you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep you over. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. The flames will not set you ablaze. When you confront those issues, when you stop allowing those things to control you and you decide you're going to take control of your life, this is what he's saying: you will not be burned. Those flames will not set you ablaze. Verse 3 says, "For I am the Lord your God, the Holy One of Israel, your Savior. I gave Egypt for your ransom, Cush and Saba in your stead." This, and I'm gonna just go a little farther. "Since you are precious and honored in my sight, and because I love you, I will give people in exchange for you, nations in exchange for your life." Isaiah 43, verses 1 through 4. When you begin to let it go, what you do is you give God room to move in your life. And then he begins to fight the battle that you were once fighting all by yourself. That's why you were so beat down with the shame and the guilt, the dishonor and the regret, all of those negative thoughts. But when you say, you know what, I'm going to give this to you. I'm going to give this pain. I'm going to give this frustration. I'm going to give these fires and these floods, all of these things that have been hindering me. I'm going to give my former shame and the things I used to do, how I used to be out there doing all kind of things, using all kind of drugs, selling drugs, using drugs, being mean to people, being jealous or envious, being nasty towards people, thinking less of myself. All of us have a past. The problem is a lot of times we like to weigh sin in our eyes. We'll say one sin weighs more than the other, but God does not do that. And we have to understand that, yes, you may be going through the flood. Yes, you may feel like you're in the fire. Yes, you may feel like you are being passed over and swept through. But what the Lord is saying is, he said, I am your God. I love you. And because I love you, I'm going to protect you. I'm going to keep you. I feel like there are some people who are listening to me who feel like God gave up on them. They feel like God doesn't care about them. You keep talking about this Jesus. I like what you're talking about, Adeline, but I just don't agree with that Jesus part. I get it. I have been hurt and I have been down at the point where I questioned it myself. And I can tell you that when I was overcome with my past, I was consumed with shame and guilt and the pain of the past. Jesus met me in my living room and I was not even calling out to him. I want to encourage you and let you know that you can let it go. My question is, will you let it go? See, the problem is many of us, our identities are tied up in this negative thought process that we have of ourselves. You cannot let go of the past because when you let go of those thoughts, you don't know who you are. All you know is pain. All you know is confusion. All you know is dysfunction. All you know is backbiting. All you know is vanity. That's all you know. You don't know anything about being a good person. All you know about is how to dress nice because that's all that was placed. That's the only thing that value was placed on growing up in your life. So that's all you know. But now it's time to let it go. That vanity has brought enough shame, enough guilt. Let me tell you why you need to take some time and talk to God and ask him, what is this Jesus she's talking about? What are you talking about? You protected them and you will give people for in your place. And listen, when God is with you, no, he is more than the world against you. It's more than 8 billion people on the planet. But if God is on your side, you and God are the majority against the rest of us. Don't ever get it twisted. You can overcome these things, but you have to be willing to do those difficult things we talked about earlier. You're going to have to overcome by first acknowledging it's there. And after you acknowledge some things, you're going to have to start confronting, bringing them face to face. We're not hiding from it. We're not slinking back. We are standing strong. Look, you will no longer wreak havoc in my life. You tore up my mother. You tore up my life, but you will not tear up my kids' life. We're going to do what we need to do so that we can overcome. This is what letting go is all about. Let's not be headlong. Let's not be hasty. Let's not be reckless and do things without deliberating, without pause, without delay. Isaiah 43:18 and 19 says, forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. The other translation says, I am making ways in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. Think about a desert, a dry place where people would see a mirage of water and their mouth would start to water. And it's not even a real view, just the thought of having water in such a dry place. And he said, if you would let it go and stop remembering the things of the past, I'll bring up rivers right in the midst of your desert. I'll put a road right in the midst of the blockage in the forest and the wilderness that's holding you back from living your life to the fullest potential. But you have to make the choice to let it go. Are you going to do it? Come on, let's overcome that past. I know you can. Now is the time. Now is the time. I love you guys. Think about it. This has been Heart Talk with your heart coach, Adelai Brown, right here on your community station with international inspiration, kinetichifi.com. Now is your time. Now is your time. Make sure you pre order that book because this book is going to help you go through this process of letting it go. Go to theheartconnections.com and pre order your copy now. It'll be released next month. In the meantime, there will be a time, Mumford and Sons, featuring Baba Maul. This is what happened when we allow our essence to come out and we let go of the pain. You merge your beauty with my beauty, we get even more beautiful things. Listen to this beautiful song. I'll be back to close out after this. Heart Connections, Kai High Five. All right, guys, make sure you subscribe, like, share, comment. Love you guys.